you need to improve your communication. What do we mean when we say improve your communication? Kama boyfriend yako ama girlfriend yako ndiye unaona anakupea msombo wa mawazo, kaeni chini mzungumze. Tell him or her, Kim, I'm not satisfied with how we are having our relationship. I hope evangelist wangu Jeff, you're not finding it an offense when I talk to people about relationship. It is the atufai kunyamazia tuseme hakuna mambo na relationship. Relationships are there. If you are in college or you're somewhere in high school, you will understand what I'm talking about. People are in relationships and people are getting into depression and even killing themselves because of a mere girlfriend or a mere boyfriend. Last year or some other times back, there are times when you used to hear huyu ameua girlfriend yake, huyu ameua boyfriend yake. It is just because of a relationship. Now, you as a young person, if you have relationship issues, they might affect your mental health. If you cannot seek counseling as a couple, if you're not married, just have an option. Which is the option? Improve your communication skills. Call your girlfriend. Take him or her in and out. Enda mwelezee, Eric, there is the way that I'm not pleased in our dating life. Yes, we are aiming to get married, but I'm not impressed by your habits. I'm not impressed by how you carry yourself. So, wewe kama mwanarika, you need to up your game on communication. Number 2, in the relationship issue on the mental health, you need to sort the thing called conflict. Conflict resolution. Mukikosana, it is not your time to go and sleep sad. It is not your time to sleep ukiwa na grudge na mwenzako. Go and have a conflict resolution. If you cannot have a conflict resolution in two of you, find a mediator, kaeni chini zungumzeni. If this is Mary na Mary, you have your boyfriend here and the boyfriend is toxic. Ufai kukaa ukiwa unaharasiwa because of those conflicts. Get a mediator. If it is your evangelist, Kim is here, Jeff is here, someone who is near your church, talk to them. Ask them, how do you feel we can handle this relationship? Nimekuwa na my partner, but we are having conflicts day in and out. Na naona itani affect. So, you as a young person, remember communication and solving conflicts in your relationship. The other thing as young persons, ambayo inatufanya tupatwe na mental health issues, it is the life changes. The life changes. For example, starting the university. You can go in a university and find that, isi ile life nilikuwa na expect. Una expect mother kutumia do, lakini mother kutumia do. So in this part of life changes, it might affect your mental health as a young person. So as a young person, what are you supposed to do so that usiende kukua affected mentally because mom is not sending you some shopping and you feel like, wow, the world is almost ending. What you need to do is get guidance. For instance, what we are doing here, we are doing a guidance to the young people. We are doing a guidance to ourselves. As a young person, I'm doing guidance to myself and people who are around me here. So, get guidance. Kama unaona kabisa issue ya do, umeenda university na umeanza kupata na issue ya do, pigia Kim, muulize, Kim ulisurvive aje ukiwa uni? Pigia Frank, uliza Frank ulisurvive aje ukiwa college? I need some guidance from you. Kama uko teki, pigia mse mwenye unajua alikuwa maybe in that technical college or maybe polytechnic. Muulize, Ken, how did you survive in polytechnic? Situmiwi do na mzae, na understand uko home pia hakuna do, season imekuwa mbaya. How are you surviving? For instance, mimi nikipeana my real life, I thank God because when I came to college, I found myself in very big challenges. But I sought guidance and I was not affected mentally. Why? Nilijaribu kuongea na my seniors na wauliza, how are you coping in nursing? How are you coping with the nursing career? Iko na content mob, ndo hiyo tukienda kwa hostel, pesa ndo hizo hakuna za kununua food. And at the end of it, I found someone who advised me, Frank, you can start a small business. Nikachangamka hapa na pale, nikaanza kuchangamka ma photos, naenda nafanyia ma student shoot, kidogo kidogo, nikaanza kuuza delivered eggs, napeleka fresh eggs kwa nyumba ya msee, so that mimi nisilale njaa nikuwa affected that my mom is not sending me money. Because as a young person, I got the best guidance. Na msee mwenye alikuwa ananipa hiyo guidance, hata yeye alikuwa ametoka familia poa, alikuwa anauza kahawa kwa mastude. Tukiwa discussion, msee anakuja na tusupply kahawa. At the end of the day amepata doza sapa za wiki moja. And that's how I used to survive. So also you, ukiingia in the university, you don't have to panic. You don't have to get into depression. You don't have to get into drug abuse. Ukiona your peers are leading you into drug and substance abuse, just get some good guidance. Ask them, Frank, ama pigia Mary, manze, huku manze Kanairo, ni dunda kila time, tunaanguka nayo. Yani, ukiwa hapa, maybe uko in that university, kila weekend kuna mabash. How are you coping up? Kama niko ole, huku ko highway, you're getting the people wenye wanaitwa masponyo. Unawauliza, hey manzi huku, temptations ni mob. How are you dealing with this and this? Because we need to speak point blank. This time around, si ile time tulikuwa tunasema peers wanakatia peers. Peers are being sweet talk. Don't get into drug abuse just because of peer pressure. Ukiona inakudrag na unajaribu kutoka na unashinda Victoria, call Kolo, pigia Collins muulize, bro, will survive aje college? That is how you can fight mental health in the college or in the universities. The other thing is trauma and grief. Trauma and grief. When you talk about trauma and grief, you as a young person, maybe you lost as a young person, usijipate into depression because of loss of a loved one. You need to start grieving. Ukipoteza your loved one, just allow yourself to process the emotions and begin healing slowly. Accept, yes, mama ameniacha, nimebaki na dad, na hivyo ndivyo nitasurvive. Anza kubegin, start beginning to handle or process your emotion and begin healing. The other thing is this thing of academic stroke career stress. You can be in a career that is not pleasing, or maybe unaendelea na masomo but masomo hazigivini. Kila mwisho wa sem unapata soup. And this might lead you into depression as a young person. So what do you need to do as a young person? Maybe you're done with this life, but you're finding yourself, mimi najipata kila time nakula soup. Remember to seek some good guidance. The other thing I'm going to talk about is tips of good mental health. Tips of good mental health. Utaishiaje bila kupata na hizi issues za mental health? Number one, you need to be active as a young person. The moment you will stay idle in your house, the moment you will just stay doing nothing, you're just seated in your house, utaanza kupatwa na mawazo. Hapo kwa nyumba yako ndo utaanza kufikiria madhea ni peido. Hapo kwa nyumba yako ndo utafikiria yule boyfriend yangu ananicheat. Hapo kwa hao ndo utaanza kupatwa na stress za exams. So as a young person, you need to be active. If you are a gentleman, you can enroll in a soccer club. Anza kuguza game. Ukitoka daro, enda piga zoezi. You will start being active. If you are a person who loves things to do with spirituality, ukitoka class, enda Bible study as a young person. If you are in your job place, na umetoka job kama mimi nimetoka job kitu saa 7. Nikikako hao kutoka saa 7, saa 8, saa 9, saa 10, saa 11, I might start thinking a lot of things and they might lead me into this thing called mental health issues. Naanza kufikiria my friends wangu wameanza kwenda US, wengine wameanza kwenda UK, but when I keep myself active, I won't fall into that pressure. Sitajipata nimepata na mawazo like, mimi si wako kwa osibigi, mimi na wako maybe kwa osikadogo, ama na wako maybe na level 4, level 5, but my friends are working in level 6 and referrals. Lakini mimi sioni dalili ya kuemployiwa na county. But the moment you start being active as a young person, all this will be gone. So that is the first tip. The second tip is get good hours of sleep every day. Get good sleep. Usijipata na stress ya usingizi kila day. Unajaribu kutransnight kama ni today, umetransnight leo, umetransnight kesho, umetransnight the other day. Utatoka hapo ukiwa na fatigue. Ukitoka na fatigue, exam ikikuja, alafu you fail, you will end up into these mental health issues. Why? You give in the whole self of you, mpaka wakati exam inatoka unajiuliza, guy, mimi sikuwa nalala, sikuwa hata nilikuwa naamka kila siku asubuhi 4, nalala only 2 hours na transnight, but I'm not passing my examinations. So as a young person, you need to get some good hours of sleep. Mimi huwa na advise mtu at least 6 to 8 hours, they are good for your sleep. That is what I advise my patients. If you are sleeping, na pia usilale sana, ulale kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni, ama ulale saa moja mpaka saa moja tena asubuhi. Remember we said be active. But again, as you're being active, you need to find some rest so that your brain can rest. Otherwise utapatwa na fatigue. So get some good hours of sleep. The second tip is enjoy your walks. Ukitoka kwa hao, if you cannot be active in soccer, in playing something, just get some walks. Find some peers. Wase wengine wakienda kudundana, wakienda kuanguka nayo, chukua kabike, enda ucycle, tembeeni, at least endeni hike. You won't find yourself in depression as a young person. Kama mnaweza enda kutembelea mabeshte zenu, enda mwatembele, at least have some walk with your peers. The next thing, the next tip for good mental health is looking for professional help. If you have someone who is in depression or someone who is battling mental health issues, advise huyo msee, tafadhali situende hosi uende uonekane. Inaweza kuwa huyo msee amepatwa na msombo wa mawazo until haezi concentrate, anafikiria kujiua peke yake, mpaka anaanza kuongea peke yake. Huyo msee si eti uanze kusema amerogwa. I want us to understand mental health issues in a medical perspective. Mwanariki unaweza pata amekelewa ni bangi, and it is mental health issues. So you as a young person, it is the high time you encourage your peers to look for professional help. You can be seated somewhere and as you're seated in that place, upate, beshte yangu hapa ameanza kuongea peke yake. And the next thing that will come from someone else, utasikia alianza kuvuta bangi mapema, ndio imefanya amekuwa na hiyo shida ya akili. It is not every time that it's bangi which is causing mental health issues. It is not every time that it is alcohol which is causing mental health issues. Sometimes maybe that person is in depression because of failing in exams. Maybe haoni hope ya kurudia hiyo supplementary alipata, haoni hope ya kupata job. So as a young person, look for professional help. Unaweza ingia online, search for psychologist. Angalia the nearest facility near you. Enda tembe yosi, enda jieleze. My name is Dickson Kimathi. I'm requesting to see the psychologist. Ukisema tu unataka kuona psychologist, no one will give you hard time. You will be given respect and priority. So you as a young person, remember to look for professional help. The next thing, the next tip for good mental health is talking about your feelings. Talk about your feelings. Kumbuka tulisema as a young person, you might have invested in someone's love. Unamwambia mimi Frank naona tafadhali wewe ndo mpwa wangu, and I'm seeing that you are heavenly sent. Yes, some promises are made. But now you need to handle your emotions. You need to talk about your feelings. Ukisikia huyo msee anakukosea, just talk to them. Mwambia, by the way, we need to talk about how we feel it to each other, because I'm always affected by how you're handling yourself. I'm not impressed by the friends you work with. So you as a young person, you need to understand that the next tip for you to have good mental health is talking about your feelings. And you need to understand, si kila mtu utaenda ukiongelesha. This is the other thing you need to understand. You need to know the people you're talking to. You will need to know that you need someone to trust. Usiende ukiambia kila mtu, manze mimi na feel ku break up na dem fulani mwenye nimekuwa nikikatia. Some people might not support you. So look for people whom you trust. If you have no one you trust, go and talk to a psychologist. If married people wanaenda kwa marriage counselors, why should we not as young people get into counseling? End up saying, sorry for that. Go and say, I want to engage in some relationship. What is the advice that you can give me? I don't know whether we are together. Kim, I hope my microphone is clear from your side. Someone can confirm whether they can hear me by maybe sending a text message or... Sawa, thank you so much. So, nilikuwa najaribu kueleza hii kitu ya kutalk about your feelings. The next thing as a young person, nilianza na kusema the highest thing yenye ina lead to people falling into depression, especially the young people, ni hii kitu ya relationships. I want to advise someone who is listening to me and I feel like engaging into a relationship. Not all relationship. Remember, nikiongea about relationship, I'm not talking about sexual relationship. And for the fact, relationship is not just about sex. There is a lot you can offer to someone you love, which is not just sex. So me, I advise my peers, usikae hapo ngoje ufike 35 ndo uanze kupata partner, uanze kutafuta partner. You will find yourself into depression by the time unafika 29. Utajiuliza, nitawahi pata mtu wa kunioa, nitawahi pata mtu wa at least kuni accept. So you as a young person, start building your block. Lakini ujue kila kitu at its own time. So note this, do the right thing at the right time, at the right state of mind. Kama unafeel unataka kuanza relationship, do it at the right time. Ukiwa 18 years, you're not fit to get into marriage. You're not yet fit into getting into marriage. But if you are in a relationship and you are around 20 years, it is the high time you start investing in that relationship. Kumbuka, wewe kama mwanarika, hii kitu inaitwa marriage, si kitu naamka mara moja unaenda unaoa. Otherwise utamaliza miezi 2 na ulioa na harusi ishe. So start building yourself. Start building yourself as a young person. How can you build yourself? Understand, for me to get into marriage or have a successful relationship, lazima nianzie na create friendship with that person. Usiingie tu into relationship, uende uzame, useme, Florida, namuona hapo, welcome. You go and tell Florida, I'm in love with you. Can we get married? No. You need to get into someone to advise you venye nilisema seek advice. Muulize, for me to get into marriage, what can I do? You need to understand you have to start it with as a friendship. Ukitoka kwa friendship, now get into a relationship. From a relationship, that is when now you start dating. And after dating, that is when you get into marriage. And now, on that point of that sequence you're getting into marriage, remember, don't just date for fun. Otherwise, you will be hurted. And this will affect you psychologically and emotionally. And hence, you will get yourself into mental health issues. So you as a young person, if you want to have a successful, maybe marriage ahead, talk to someone who can guide you. Talk to someone who can tell you, what are the expectations when I'm in a relationship? What are my expectations when I'm in dating? For example, you're dating someone who is maybe far from you. Get to consult. What are the expectations of a long distance relationship? Otherwise, infidelity, utakuna katu hivi uko idle, you think about, my partner is in infidelity, he's cheating me. So you as a young person, know what you are expected of at the right time. Now, the next thing, I was talking about tips for good mental health. Nimesema be active, enjoy your walks, get some good hours of sleep. And then pia nimesema, you need to talk about your feelings with someone you trust. And then the main one, you need to look for professional help. And I will see uliza for a psychologist. Next, how can you put yourself at a risk of getting into mental health issues? I think this is my last part of tonight's presentation before I can engage all of you. Utajuaje ama ni njia zipi utajua unajiweka at a risk of get into mental health issues? Number 1, it is saying yes to something when you really mean no. If you're not ready for something, just make it a genuine no. Usiseme yes, yet you don't mean yes. Otherwise, this thing will give you mental issues. Kama umeambiwa nataka kukuadd kwa group ya wedding, utusaidie kucontribute. And then at the end of it, unajua wewe hauna salary, haujaajiliwa, and you have accepted to be added. Na unajua kabisa una salary, unashindwa tu kusema no. Otherwise, utapata umeadiwa, hiyo kitu itakuwa inakusumbua the all day, the all night. Remember tulianzia na kudefine mental health aje. Mental health is the state of well-being. Emotionally, physically, socially. So, you might be affected emotionally. Unafikiria, hawa watu wanatuma 10,000 na Florida ni rafiki yangu na ameniarika kwa harusi, lakini sina pesa za kumpatia. That thing will affect you because you start thinking, Florida might think I'm a bad friend. So you as a young person, you need to know when to say yes, and you need to know when to say no. If someone has come to vibe you or sweet talk you, and you're not ready to get into dating, please don't give in a yes. Yes, I'm ready to get into a relationship. That thing will disappoint you as a young person. Maybe there is a sugar daddy pale anataka kudanganya kwambie twende out, nitakununulia hii na hii. If you feel in your heart it's a no, make it a genuine no. If you know you are being told to go out with your friends and you feel like just saying no, make it a genuine no. Usiseme yes and that you're not confident. Ujidanganye mimi nitaenda dunda lakini sitaenda kutei. Utaenda dunda ya kwanza, ya pili, ya tatu utaanguka nayo. Utaambiwa, utashangaa tu umewekewa hii kitu inaitwa mchele, and as a young person you will just fail. Ule mwanarika alitoka home tukijua ni wa church, ameenda Kanairo, and when you go to Nairobi ujipate umeenda kwa dunda kidogo kidogo, umeanza kuwa I know we are all Gen Zs, but kuna wale Gen Zs in quotes. Utajipata umekuwa Gen Z huko mtaani, wewe ndio unaonekana kwa street na mawe. And you are a young person who was mentored well pale Sunday school. Umekuwa mentored vizuri pale in those summits, kama zile synod summits zenye tulikuwa tunaenda. So if it is a yes, make it a yes. If it is a no, it is a no. The next thing that can put you in the self-sabotage, procrastinating on a task that you need to get done. Procrastinating on a task you need to get done. That thing might put you into mental health issues. For example, you usually say, mimi nitaenda kutafuta job kesho. Unakaa hivi unasema nita print papers zangu niende kutafuta job kesho. But at the end of it, hauendi kutafuta job. Kila siku unakaa kwa hao unasema mimi kesho nitaenda kutafuta job. You're always procrastinating your plans. Unasema nataka nianze project fulani. By the time una realize you are 4 months, you are maybe 4 months and you have not started your project, your friends have moved ahead. Kama wewe ni mse umemaliza kole kama mimi ama kama Florida, unajiambiaje? After college I will get into an university. But at the end of it, you find yourself, even that university, you're not enrolling yourself in the university. You're just there. Unasema next year ndo nitaenda kuenroll uni, next year ndo nitaenda kuenroll. So that thing might put you in self-sabotage. Inaweza kuput into mental health issue. So don't procrastinate. Remember, you can quote me or quote the owner of that quote, procrastination is the thief of time. Ukiishi kuprocrastinate useme nitaanza kesho, you are wasting your time. So let's put off procrastination as young people. The next thing that can put you in self-sabotage, it is putting your needs last. Yani, zile mambo zenye ni zako, unaziweka zikiwa za mwisho. Una prioritize mambo za marafiki. But you in yourself, you're not prioritizing your growth. So as a young person, you need to prioritize your growth. Don't prioritize your friend's growth. Prioritize your growth. Kama ni tuko na msee amemaliza form 4 hapa, na ndo una choose about your careers, prioritize your career growth. Don't prioritize impressing your mom, don't prioritize impressing your dad. Me I usually tell people, ile course yenye unasikianga ndio course yako. Kama tuko na, I can see we have Murithi here, Victoria and other people. And other people will be listening to this recording that we are having. You don't need to do a course because your parent is telling you ati unaweza kuwa engineer. Utafanya hiyo engineering, utaenda huko nje, upate hiyo engineering haingiani. You will live in depression. Why? Because you choose to impress your parents or you choose to impress your guardian mwenye alikuwa anakulipia school fees. Because alikuambia, wewe Frank naona ukikuwa daktari mzuri, ukikuwa mwalimu mzuri, go by yourself. As a young person, go by yourself. Put your needs first. Don't put your needs last. I hope you gotten that. And lastly, the other thing that can put you in self-sabotage, ama yenye inaweza kuput into mental health, it is comparing yourself with others. Unakaa hivi unajiambia, mimi sijasonga na life kama Kim. Kim ameng'ang'ana, amemaliza form 4, ameingia kole, amekuwa anaenda kugraduate kwa reverend. lakini mimi bado sija move on kama mwanarika. Unajiambia hapo, maybe niko na friend yangu amesoma engineering, amemaliza, amesha graduate, amepata job, na mimi bado sijapata job. When you compare yourself with others, you will find yourself into mental depression or mental health issues. So you don't need to compare yourself with others. You need to be yourself. Be yourself as a young person. And lastly, that I'm going to talk about is putting yourself in the focus that puts you close to your goal is the last thing that I'm going to talk about. Put yourself in the focus that brings you close to your goals. If your goal is to be a good musician, it is not the time to go and start doing engineering. It is the time to start go and learn things that do with music. If your passion is being a medic, it is not the high time useme nataka niende nianzie kwanza na kusoma DJ alafu nitaenda kuwa doc baadaye. You need to do things that bring your focus close to your goals. If you have a goal of being an IT person, it is not the time to go and start selling some items huko tao. Maybe unataka kuwa msee wa IT but unapata umeanza kuuza manguo. It won't bring you close to your goal. Yes, itakupea do, but you are deviating from your goal. Kama unapenda kuwa msee wa IT, enda uanze kuenroll in cyber. Fungua tu hata ka cyber fulani mahali, anza kulearn na kuji enroll kama msee wa cyber. Hata kama utafanya online. I started by saying in college mimi nilijitafutia tu hustles. I would do online cyber businesses. Kama ni time ya kureturn KRA, enda saidia mastudia kureturn KRA, utapata hizo do. Enda saidia wasi kuingia kwa portal kuregister new courses. Waitishe chwani. You will be in a place that you are able to survive. So with that, I think I've done the best that I had prepared. But mental health is wide and wide. So I hope we will get another time to have a good discussion about mental health. So that is what I had prepared for you. Maybe I can give you a room for questions. If you have questions, it's time to ask. Kama kuna mahali umesikia nimetaja kitu na umesikia imekuwa na uzito lakini hujaipata poa, you can raise up your hand and ask what you want to ask. If there is someone with a question, please, you can ask. Naona Florida amesema thank you Florida. She says, thank you Frank. This is a nice idea and a good talk for all of us. Keep going guys. I may not continue right now. Please allow me to leave and be prepared for the next one. I will seek to join the other one to completion. Thank you so much Florida. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Someone with a question about mental health so that I can give our chairman a chance to say something and then we can maybe wind up. Victoria, uliza swali about mental health. Kim, you can make a comment and introduce watu kwa maswali maybe. Yes, please. Yes, I can hear you, Mary. Thank you so much, Mary. Mary is asking, at times we can find ourselves in situations where you explain yourself to people lakini hawakuelewi. Just because you're into depression, you're trying to talk to someone, that person is not understanding you. What I can say is this: seek professional help. Seek professional help. Usinyamaza sababu your fellow peer is not helping you. Ukisikia huyu msee akusaidii, we have health facilities. For example, the facility where I work, we have a special unit, yenye inaitwa youth friendly unit. Kama wewe ni mwanarika, enda in those youth friendly offices. Talk yourself there. You will find people who are trained to counsel people on professional basis. If there is no youth friendly office, just look for a psychologist. Remember, si kila mtu ambaye atakupea good counsel. Some people might be brought up in a different ways in such that ukijaribu kufanya ukimpea shida zako ataenda kukutangaza. So what you need to do is seek professional help, especially from a psychologist. You're in some depression, or maybe you feel umepatwa na msombo wa mawazo and you're telling your parents not understand. Just go in an hospital, uliza, where can I to a psychologist? Ama, where is the mental health office where I can get some psychological help? I hope you have gotten me, Mary. Someone else with a question? Sorry for that, Kim. Kim was asking, anyone else who has a question? I can see Murithi. Eh? Kim, you are saying something, please. Kim, you can read for me the question. Kim, you can see the question and read. When you talk about depression is nitasema depression medically inakuwa classified into different types of depression. So kama uko na depression, there are some of the things that I started by mentioning. You will feel some hopelessness, or maybe feeling some loss of ability to experience some pleasure. You feel some suicidal thoughts. Kama wewe ni a young person, I started by saying, in depression, you will feel guilt about yourself. Maybe you engaged yourself in some sexual intercourse with someone, and by bad mistake, huyo msee akakuwa alikuanga HIV positive. Hiyo kitu, how will it manifest mpaka ufeel you're getting into a depression? You will feel the guilt. Unaanza kujiuliza, mbona mimi nilifanya hivyo? Mbona ni mimi peke yangu? Mbona ni mimi hiyo kitu ilipata? Ukiona umeanza kujiuliza all those questions, it might end you into getting into this thing called